Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Today marks the day for the end of the Nier collaboration, or at least the day of the last banner releasing for the Nier collaboration, which has honestly been, for me, such a curveball. Like this, I feel like the whole Nier collaboration shifted the power creep to such a different level that it's hard to have a grasp of what's going on, especially being one of, I'm guessing, a good amount of players that haven't actually pulled on anything from this collaboration yet. So I was waiting until this last banner came out, which is Aerith and Sephiroth. I'm going to take a look at that today. I'm going to do a banner review in the video, but I'm just still trying to wrap my head around everything, try to get a grasp on where the game is going overall. And yeah, so I'm going to get into the notices here. We do still have some guilds recruiting for the next guild war. So if any of you guys are interested in joining one of our guilds, we have super competitive guilds, casual guilds, and competitive casual guilds as well, from all ranges, top 10 all the way to top 50, top 100, top 20, top 30, everything you guys can imagine. And so if you're looking to find a home, you want to play, you want to have fun, you want to hang out with good players, come join our Discord. There's a link in the description of this video, and we will get you guys sorted. So that being said, let's jump into the actual notices here. Alright, so we're going to start on December 10th, that's today. So it does look like there is a new 2-loop draw. So make sure to get the free draw off the first step on that. I think that's what the majority of players are going to be doing. The second thing here is we have the I was going to say anniversary, at the Nier crossover event with Aerith and Sephiroth here, which is looking pretty interesting. And I'm excited to check that out more. I've only taken a very quick glance at it, so we're going to be kind of going through this new banner together for the first time, unless you guys probably most of you guys have checked it out by now. But let's keep going up. We do have the Master Tonberry hunt. I mean, fighting a Master Tonberry just sounds fun no matter what to me, I feel like. So I feel like this one's going to be pretty cool. The ultra high difficulty crash stage battle is available from the start, so that should be fun to check out, especially see what is going to work really well against the Tonberry. On top of that, we have the notice for guild ranking guild battle number 18. 18, guys. A year and a half we've been doing this together. I mean, just the guild wars, and man, it's been a wild ride. So this is number 18. It's going to start as of December 17th. Guild battle number 18 will be held. Alright, and from what I remember, it's going to be physical lightning. So in guild battle number 18, lightning physical attacks are effective. I feel like Cloud from the Dragon Quest collaboration is going to be very strong here. And so, yeah, pretty interested to see how this one plays out. And then here we go, regarding guild battle attempts. For guild battle number 18, which becomes official, blah, 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 we are modifying how attempts are handled. Previously, attempts would not be consumed during the battle results phase, regardless of the stage, even if the boss was defeated by another guild member. Okay. The way attempts are handled are being changed as follows. Stage 1 through 3, unchanged. Interesting. Stage 4 through 6. If you attempt an official match when the boss is at 20% or higher, an attempt will be consumed even if the boss is defeated by another guild member. Now, so I remember in the past when we had the terrible double Vajra guys where it became viable to run 2 players at the same time into the match, just because they could both hit that 50% threshold. For some reason, I feel like once the first person went, I can't exactly remember the specifications of why this was going on, but it got somehow harder for the person going in second, even if they could consistently hit 50%. Once one person had gone in that battle, it made it much harder based on that particular instance that I can't quite recall. And so that's really the only time in which I felt like sending in 2 people at once was actually beneficial. So I'm not exactly sure what this is going to do, but, you know, I mean, obviously there's no change on stage 1 through 3, so yeah, okay, so let's read what they said here. Regarding this change, with the way attempts worked previously, players had the ability to intentionally redo battles. when it looked like the desired result couldn't be achieved. This made it possible for players to engage in behavior which ran counter to our intentions. Restarting Stage 4 and beyond could have such a large impact on scores that we determined restarting those stages would become the optimal way to play. That actually makes sense because Stage 1 through 3 basically give like such little points, at least in comparison, right? As a result, we concluded that stages which could have a large impact on scores needed to result in the loss of attempts even when a boss was defeated by another guild member. We understand, though, that having multiple guild members attempting a match can result in wasted attempts. As such, when selecting a battle or before making an attempt, we recommend checking to see if other guild members are attempting a match as well so that you can avoid making an attempt at the same time. So whatever you do, don't go into the battle in stages 4 through 6 while one of your guildmates is in that. And so what they're saying here is that there's a kind of thing in the game where if you like crash midway through, you can send another player in, right? And that the person who crashed doesn't go back into the game. The other person goes in, they clear the fight, and it saves that key. At this point, what they're saying is that that's not going to work anymore, which I think is actually a really good fix for the game. Let's be real. Now it's even across the board, right? I mean, it would still work in stages 1 through 3. It's just the amount of points gained by that are so minimal in comparison to 4 through 6. I feel like they should have made this for all stages, right? I don't know why they wouldn't do it for all stages. It really doesn't make any sense to me. But it is what it is. Applibot works in mysterious ways, guys, as we've all seen over the years. Conversely, for Stage 3 and lower, we determined that the impact on scores would be minimal and therefore prioritized minimizing the loss of attempts instead. I guess, I mean, it's pretty easy to not go into a battle when it says there's someone in the stage, right? I guess if there's like less casual guilds where people don't really care and they're just going in, right? And then you're just losing keys left and right, I could see that. But I feel like that would also happen on all their stage 4 through 6s. So now it's just even more complicated for no reason. I feel like it should have just been clear cut right across the board, not possible anymore at all. So yeah, this just seems like unnecessarily complicated for literally no reason whatsoever. While we considered making it impossible to attempt a stage at the same time as other guild members, we found that forced shutdowns of the game could cause a stage to be flagged as being attempted and lock out guild members for extended periods of time. This was far from ideal, and so we have postponed the implementation of this feature for the time being. The modifications we have outlined above are temporary and only meant for Guild Battle 18. Depending on how Guild Battle 18 goes, we may consider modifying the cutoff point for stages that can result in the loss of attempts, adjust stamina maximums, and make other changes as necessary. So at least they're doing something. Not really, you know, the perfect result. Like, it doesn't seem like they've ever, I don't think I've ever read something where they come out and they're like, hey guys, like, we had this problem and we fixed it, like, period. You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, it's a start. Yeah, but yeah, I think that, you know, just like fully completing and fixing these problems and not these weird things where this is changed for this war but it might be changed in the next war. It's just like, it's very unorganized in my opinion. And so, you know, I'm glad that something is being done. Like, the fact that like there's pieces in motion is a good sign, because this is basically the most we've seen that they're gonna do so far, basically with anything that comes to Guild War, right? And so, you know, it's nice to see that. So alright, so let's keep going on. Let's go check out the shop, just for fun, right? It does not look like there's anything new, unfortunately. So even though that was just for fun, it didn't turn out to be as fun as I was really hoping for deep down inside. Alright, so now I'm going to go over to the banner review of the video, right? And so basically these are all of your guys' choices right here. So we have Tifa, Yuffie, Cloud, Aerith, and Sephiroth. Today I'm going to look at the Aerith and Sephiroth one, and just basically give you guys my overall opinions. Like I said, I've only really taken a quick glance at these, but let's take a quick look at the actual animations, right? That's always like one of the coolest parts about getting a new weapon. Alright, so here's Aerith's. Okay, so hers is actually pretty cool. And there's Sephiroth's. Sephiroth's pretty interesting too. I like those kind of like blood swords that came down from above. Alright, now let's take a look at... Wow, alright, so let's go in. Let's take a look at these costumes, okay? So we're going to hide the UI. We're going to look at Aerith. wow, this is like a pretty scandalous costume for Aerith. Aerith to me is like a total like pure-hearted sweetheart, so it's hard to see her in like something that's like a bit like sexualized like this. Like seems like it is, but I feel like it kind of, you know, fits the Nier thing except for the blue, unless there's something from like a game that I'm missing, which is entirely plausible, guys. But other than that, I mean, she looks pretty great, guys. I mean, she's got her like one stalking leg, which is kind of, you know, unique in and of itself. She's got her little black heels with the blue lacing on it. And she's got this like blend looking like axe in her hand right here, which is like particularly violent looking for Aerith. It's got like razor blade shark teeth lining the edges of this thing. But other than that, I mean, she looks pretty cute. Not gonna lie, I like the flower in the hair. She's like wrapped in bandages for some reason, like all the way going around her upper body, her upper leg. So it looks like she like took a devastating beating from like one side of her body in her last battle. So, but overall, I would say it's not my favorite Aerith costume, but it's not a terrible Aerith costume at the same time. So I think it's a pretty good one overall. Now let's take a look at Sephiroth's here. Okay, Sephiroth's, I saw this in the wallpaper. I'm not gonna lie, guys. It kind of looks like he's wearing a carpet, like, and not just one carpet, but like multiple carpets that were kind of like cut together and then like seamed or like stitched together to make this kind of like abstract kind of montage of a carpet kind of raiment, right? Like that's really what this is. It's kind of almost like a kind. I don't even know what is going on with this, to be honest. This is like, I think might be for me one of the strangest costumes I've seen in the game so far. But I mean, they always have some pretty unique ideas, right? I do like the chain that kind of floats around coming off his belt like that. That's a pretty cool idea. I do like that. I don't know why there's like a full-on carabiner on the I don't even know. It's like I used to do this when I was rigging in union jobs. Like these are like man, I can't remember the name of it, but you would use it to like tie together things for rigging, right? It looks like one of those, and I'm not exactly sure why he would be having that. He's also kind of wrapped in chains. He's got this black fur, which I guess kind of matches. It looks almost like a Russian, like, kind of outfit or something from the cold. The sword itself is pretty sick. It's pretty gold. It's very spiffy. So maybe he's got like some type of like kind of noble look going on. I mean, young Sephiroth can always, I mean, both of them can pull off like a super noble look, I would say. But all in all, like, definitely not my favorite young Sephiroth costume. Maybe not the worst one, but yeah, I kind of feel like similarly to both these costumes. I would say that I like Aerith's more than Sephiroth's, though, if I had to say. Alright, now let's go in, and I guess we'll start with Aerith here. Alright, so let's take a look at Aerith. So here we have the Staff of the Possessed. So at OB1, the command ability is going to be Ripping Twister, 4 ATB cost. It's going to deal 590% physical non-elemental damage. Alright, so it is a physically focused weapon with a decent healing stat. Applies Water Weapon Boost Command Ultimate Command Ability Damage plus 20% to all allies, duration 40 seconds. And when HP is 70% or more, Water Resistance is decreased all enemies. Okay, so it looks like this weapon seems to be a direct upgrade to the Ever Crisis Academy weapon. Now, don't get me wrong, they do slightly different things, right? So, but are you going to be running both of these weapons at the same time on Aerith? I feel like that's the question. So let's go back. Where's character? Oh, they added something new there. Let's go down here. Filter. Okay, so here's her other weapon at OB10. Team Leader's Bamboo Staff. This is going to deal 530% magic water damage. Oh, so this one is maybe I think the other one wasn't bound, though, to magic. I think it was command ultimate command damage. This one, when buff is granted to self, times 1.4 damage, all right? And then when HP is 50% or more, water damage is increased to all allies, right? So Aerith really already had something that enhances this. Now, this one's going to be a little bit different. All right, so let's go back over here. And let's take a look at this. All right, so this is going to apply a water weapon boost, command ultimate command ability damage at 20% at OB1 to OB5, or base 5 starter OB5, 30% at OB6, 35% at OB10. Okay, so technically it would pair well with her other weapon. This one has a built-in imperil at the same time. The question is, are you going to realistically be able to give up that second slot on Aerith to equip the bamboo staff, right? And I think that it's probably going to be a rare occurrence where you're going to have both of those slots free. Possibly you can, but this is like really Aerith as a healer playing a support character, right? Like, she's increasing water elemental potency, increasing water weapon boost on command, ultimate command ability damage. She's also imperiling, like, very supporty for a character and less healing. And so if she's not focusing on healing, if she's not focusing on magic defense buff, physical defense buffs, all these things, right? You know, and oftentimes she's doing like magic attack up or physical attack up. Now, across the board, this is getting easier and easier to accomplish, but everyone has massively different accounts in this game. There is an enormous amount of weapons in this game, and so the amount of, like, you know, fathomable results that you could have based on different accounts and what we can make with stuff is just like kind of like unprecedented at this point. Like, there's a lot of stuff in this game. So for me, I would say, personally, this is going to be an easy skip. But, you know, for the people that really love Aerith and, you know, the, like, hard timers that are going to just, like, are playing to fight the meta, you know, I wish you guys the best of luck on this. But I think probably for most players, it's probably a chiller skip. If you don't have the bamboo staff, it's definitely would be a good, you know, it's not going to give you the water potency boost. But I would say that this one's actually better overall. So yeah, it's kind of hard to say, but I like that this one comes with the imperil on it. Saves you a slot. It's pretty nice. Also, the costume is quite good from what I remember. Now, the R abilities are going to be HP over healing, which is great. We have physical attack boost, healing boost on the single target heal, and the all cure spot. So that's going to take care of healing on the single target and AoE healing, which is nice to see. And then if we take it to OB10, we're going to have 344 healing. It's going to deal 920% physical non-elemental damage to all enemies, so a decent amount right there. We'll get 35% on the water weapon boost, and then the imperil right here will actually change to when HP is 70% or more. Water resistance is decreased, potency high, range all enemies. All right, so all in all, still a very good weapon, but not something that I think is absolutely a must-have unless you're a huge Aerith fan, and she's basically like your main. Now, let's move on to her costume. Alright, so here we have Garb of the Possessed. This is going to deal 1000% physical non-elemental damage to all enemies. It has two casts called Ultra Ripping Twister, and also is going to apply Exploit Weakness to all allies, which is super, super, super clutch. Now, I feel like everyone who went for the Dragon Quest staff, this kind of like, it doesn't defeat the purpose of it, because this only has, you know, a duration of 2 casts and a duration of 60 seconds. So she can't keep up weakness exploit the entire time with just this costume, right? So there are drawbacks to it, but that's still 2 minutes of exploit weakness, which is pretty solid, guys, overall. It is pretty solid. I'm not sure how the potency fares to the Dragon Quest staff. I do know that exploit weakness potencies can change depending on which weapon you're looking at, but overall I'd say this is very good. I feel like exploit weakness is one thing that is definitely harder to fit into certain builds. It's going to be easier now with Tifa, especially if you pulled the first Nier collaboration costume. But for certain characters, it's definitely, for me, I feel like it's sometimes harder to get exploit weakness off. Like, you might be changing it for other things. And so this allows Aerith, basically at any point in time, to give it to your entire team, which is pretty fantastic, I'd say. For a costume, this one is quite good. And then we have boost attack all allies level 3 right here. So the standard 7% for both and the 20 raw for both physical magic. And then we have lunar tear hairpin. All right, so we're going to get healing potency plus 20% and buff, debuff, effect duration extension plus 40%. I feel like this could have been 60% right here, or even 80%. 40 seems a bit low, but it's still like an all-around. I'd say that this is quite a good all-around costume. Like if we go take a look at some of Aerith's other costumes here, guys, and I don't have all of them, so you know I can't show you everything, but I would say that I probably have a good majority of them. Actually, I don't know, maybe half. All right, so let's see here. All right, so let's take a look at the Bahamut Robe right here. So this one is attack all allies level 2. So this one is already level 3. It's better than that. Then we have Bahamut's Protection. This one gives physical magic defense plus 10 or 20% and healing potency plus 10%. So honestly, looking pretty solid overall. Yeah, it honestly looks like quite a good costume for her. We have the Komodo dress right here. This is going to boost heal and buff debuff extension, but you don't get that 2 minutes of exploit weakness, right? We have the festive crimson attire with reprieve and New Year's protection right here, so the healing potency but no buff debuff duration. Honestly, the costume for Aerith is looking really quite good. Like I'm actually pretty like tempted to pull for Aerith, honestly, just for the costume. I feel like it's really solid to have on Aerith, especially if she's your main healer like she is for me. I'm still undecided as of right now. I really take my time, especially at this point in time in the game, where I'm just gonna like be honest with you guys. I feel like it doesn't really look great for Ever Crisis in 2026. Like, it does feel like they've hit us with back-to-back collaborations. They've added this new gimmick. Like, it feels like they're not really putting in the effort into other areas of the game. I feel like this is felt widely across Ever Crisis. We have this insane power creep, this new costume system. It just feels like they're trying to pull as much of they can out of the people, and then unfortunately Square Enix has a bad track record with, you know, canceling or EOSing games after big pulls like this, right? Like War of the Visions EOS'd like 1 month after their anniversary in March. So like, you know, realistically, a company that, in my opinion, like cares for their players would announce the EOS before they go into the anniversary, so that they're not like trying to take as much money of you as possible without us knowing, right? Because I'm sure it's something that's been discussed. So I just want everyone to be as careful as they can out there. You know, enjoy the game, but there's a lot of things that don't bode too well for Ever Crisis overall, in my opinion, and I'm just not the type of person that can really, you know, not expressed my honest truth, you know? And so I just wanted to give you guys kind of a, you know, that's at least my feeling. I could be entirely wrong, but it is what it is, right? So let's go ahead and jump over to Sephiroth here, all right? So like I said, for Aerith, weapon, good, not the greatest. I think that if you have the bamboo staff, it's probably going to be okay. But the costume is looking pretty 10 out of 10. I think the costume is very good for Aerith right now. Now let's take a look at Sephiroth here. All right, so here we have the Phoenix Odachi, which is a super sick name. Definitely like that a lot. Also like the name of the command ability, Dark Manifestation, 4 ATB cost. This one looks like it's very similar in stats right here, which is always really good for a weapon because this is magic, as you can see. But because of these specs, you can kind of put it on any like let's take a look. Yeah, so they're very close even at the end, 664, 679. So it looks like you could basically run this. Oh, well, this is going to be for a physical setup anyway. So let's take a look. Let's actually read this before we start breaking it down. So here at OB1, we're going to deal 720% magic non-elemental damage to a single enemy. It's also going to apply physical weapon boost, command, ultimate command ability damage plus 20%. To all allies, apply magic weapon boost, command, ultimate command ability damage plus 20% to all allies. Duration 40 seconds, and first use plus 1 ATB gauge range self. So honestly, quite a good weapon. You know, it's just like the question is, what are we going to do with the offhand weapon, right? So like now that Aerith has exploit weakness on a costume, you can get it in other ways. Sephiroth wouldn't have to use the 1.5 anniversary Odin sword in order to give himself exploit weakness. So now he could open that up, you know, for a possible other option for a weapon right here, which would definitely be a great one. So, you know, my recommendation, as I've said before, is really, you know, pull for the characters that you love. At this point in time in the game, enjoy the game to the fullest, pull for the characters that you love, and enjoy the game for what it is, because it's a mobile game, and, you know, the one thing that's true about old mobile games, or at least old gacha games, is that, you know, they're on a finite lifespan, right? So I think that if you love Sephiroth, you love to play Sephiroth, this is definitely going to be a very good weapon overall, especially if you can get exploit weakness on him in another way, right? Alright, so it looks like quite a good weapon so far. The R abilities right here, boost attack over boost ability potency. Support abilities are double physical attack boost and a triangle sigil boost right here. Let's take it to OB6. Alright, so now it's going to deal 1080% magic non-elemental damage. The physical magic weapon boost will go to 30%, and first condition use only, plus 2 ATB gauge range self. So nice little boost for Sephiroth at the beginning of the fight as well, which is a nice touch at the bottom of the weapon, because this was already a good weapon, and now that's just a nice little touch added on top. It is going to be a 62 over 46 on the R abilities at OB10, which is solid. And then actually taking it to OB10, you're going to deal the 1340%, like the max you can get. 35% on the physical magic weapon boost right here, and you're going to get plus 3 ATB gauge right off the bat for the first, right off the bat right here. So honestly, quite a good weapon. A really good weapon for Sephiroth, a good offhand weapon. The support abilities are solid right here. The weapon looks cool. All in all, I like this weapon. I think it's solid. Now let's take a look at his costume. Alright, so here we have command abilities, Ultra Dark Manifestation, ATB 4 ATB cost. This is going to deal 2000% magic non-elemental damage to a single enemy. It's also going to apply weakness, ailment, water weakness, plus 50%. So this is the first time we've seen this on an actual costume. This has 2 uses and a duration of 90 seconds. So you can get a total of 3 minutes, so easily an entire guild war. But this is super focused on like turning enemies that cannot be applied to targets weak or resistant to water, right? So, you know, you're only going to be able to use this on enemies that aren't naturally resistant to water, or weak to it, essentially, right? So it's one of those gimmick things. I've actually never actually beaten a boss with this particular gimmick in the game, so I really don't think that it's super necessary overall. But if you love Sephiroth, if you really like water, you want to run it, Sephiroth already has a solid magic water setup. Yeah, I think it's pretty solid. And then the first R ability here is going to be Reprieve. Okay, which is going to restore to 25% of max HP. By the way, thank you guys for pointing out in the last video that Aerith's ultimate weapon is a 100% heal on the AoE Reprieve to the team, which is insane, guys. Literally insane. And then we have the geometric arm wraps, which is basically these new, it's basically a regular Omni Arcanum. There's nothing really special about it. And so it's nice to have, but I feel like they're a dime a dozen these days, unfortunately. But it is what it is. So I think that, you know, overall, there's a lot of good stuff going on. Like, if you really love Tifa, this is going to be a very overall good costume for her. It works across the board for her. I think it's super solid. It puts weakness exploit in her kit. You know, if you love Yuffie, it's going to make her super good on Earth. I think she was on Earth, right? Let's go back down to her. Oh man, this has been a while. No, Cloud was Earth. So yeah, I think that I can't exactly remember what I said for that one, but you guys can check out that that video for that one. But for me, I had like concluded that Tifa was the pull for me, unless you're like specialized in Yuffie on the first banner. Cloud, I feel like, was pretty much an easy skip. And so really, I think it kind of comes down to this banner right here. I feel like the costume is really good for Aerith. Sephiroth is overall very good. It's just for me, when I want to use DPS characters in the game now, I'm like either wanting to run Cloud or Tifa or maybe OG Sephiroth, and it's just too many resources to try and pull so many characters. So unfortunately, certain characters have to be let go at a certain point, at least for me now. So essentially, guys, that's going to be my overall thoughts on this. I think just follow your heart. Figure out, if you're pulling for the character because you love the character, and if you're pulling for the meta, just take a look at your account, look at where you're weaker. If your physical Earth setup is the weakest, then you can go for Cloud. If you want to, if you love to play Tifa to the end of the days, then Tifa's obviously the choice. If you've missed out on prior costumes to Aerith, this one is a very, very good costume. Even though the weapon is pretty niche, I feel like the costume is overall good, and so that's a super positive. And then there's Sephiroth, and I guess if people are pulling for Sephiroth, you're probably going to be going for OB6, which means you'd probably be getting the costume anyway. So that's going to be my kind of take on the patch updates today and the banner. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that it's helpful. I wish you guys all the best of luck in your pulls, and if there's anyone out there that is looking for a guild, like I said, come check out our Discord and we'll get you guys sorted. So that being said, hope you guys all have a wonderful night. Take care and peace.